morning, friends. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and as you can see by my clock over there, it's 5 a.m. and it's time to make Wolfie breakfast. Now, the reason I'm making breakfast for you this morning and for Wolfie is because I'm making sourdough pancakes. I want to show you first off that our sourdough starter has liquid on top. That is okay. We just stir that right back in. And before I start, I'm going to be using about a cup, so I'm going to replace a cup, but I'm going to start it off in a fresh jar for the simple reason as this one's getting rough around the edges. So we got about a cup and a half, maybe two of warm water there. It's always important to use your sourdough as often as possible, like once a day, once every other day, and because you want to keep it alive by feeding it, technically. Sorry, folks, I really am still half asleep. So there, I'm going to give it some all-purpose flour. Pinch of salt in there. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. I'm so half asleep. You can't. Alright, I'm feeding my starter. This isn't my starter. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. This isn't my starter. This is what I'm going to feed it. But I'm giving it a clean jar. Now let's give the fresh stuff a shake up. And we'll set that aside. Now, for our pancakes. I've stirred this up, and we're going to take, I don't know, about 2 cups, because after all, that's what I'm replacing with my starter. This is 2 cups of my sourdough, and it's a little liquidy today, because I don't think I fed it properly yesterday. Now I'm going to take my older sourdough and just pop it in there. And that's a lot. I'm hoping it doesn't overflow when it starts to rinse my cheesecloth off. I'm hoping this doesn't like bubble up and overflow because I have a lot in there. So what I'm going to do is until I see it doing its business, I'm going to set that on a plate just to protect my counter. Okay, on to the pancakes. We have our sourdough starter, and to it we're going to add just about a cup of flour and a little bit of milk and an egg. We need a little bit of sugar. A little bit of sugar. I'm going to say about a tablespoon. A little bit of oil. And just about a half a teaspoon. Whoops, that's way too much. About a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Now, I know this is similar to regular pancakes in composition, but this is another way you can use up some of your sourdough. And it does make a lovely pancake. Alright, let's take it over to the stove and start Wolfie's breakfast. My skillet is nice and hot. Turn it down a little bit because we don't want to burn anything. And we're just going to pour a nice bit of batter on there. And I'm going to turn my oven on low just so that we can keep his breakfast warm until he's out of bed. We'll put a plate in the oven. That way his breakfast will be all kept warm when he gets up. Now, the common mistake I made when I first made the sourdough pancakes is I flipped them too soon. These get more bubbles than your standard everyday pancake. Okay? So just because you see bubbles doesn't mean it's necessarily time to flip it yet. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. Alright, we'll be back when I have a plate of these in front of Papa. And there's Papa's sourdough pancakes, just waiting for him to come to the table. Okay, poor Papa, it is 5:20 in the morning and he's not thrilled about being on camera, but those are the sourdough pancakes. There you go. Have a good day, sweetie. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying sourdough. It's not just for bread. You can make pancakes, you can make biscuits. My bread dough is rising. Daddy's been fed. His lunch has been made. Time to milk the goat. Have a great day.